Hi, I'm Anthony D'Alessandro, and this is Deadlines, Toronto International Film Festival studio. We are here with Maria Bakalova.
Nice to see you.
Hello. Star of The Apprentice, but also the star and the producer of Bulgaria's Oscar submission, The Triumph. Yes, The Triumph. So let's start with The Triumph. First of all, tell us about the story. This happened in the early 90s, and this psychic led this army personnel to dig this tunnel toward an extraterrestrial. But I'm just curious, did you hear about this growing up?
I did. I think everybody heard about it from my country because it's been something that happened, and our film is inspired by what happened. It's strange, isn't it? Like sometimes you realize that real life have even more absurd, interesting, funnier stories than actually you can fictionalize them. So when you have something that is so rich in character and things that actually happen, you want to play with it. And it's about Bulgaria back in the 90s, trying to find alien intelligence and something that is going to help the country to be a big power in the world. And it's funny because it's kind of like a political satire which explores coming from communism, going through this period of like unknown and trying to get to the democracy, which is still kind of difficult to achieve. And we see that as a metaphor with the character of Slava, who I had the chance to play. And I feel like it's all explored by her, and we see it the way that she sees it.
She's the colonel's troubled daughter, but she has a connection with the psychic.
She does. She does. So there are all of these people, older people, and this child who just happens to be there. And, we all have this desire to belong somewhere. And we see she meets this lady who actually appears to her like a mother figure who she doesn't have. And when she believes in her that she has special abilities, she is ready to do whatever it takes to prove herself, but when she is not allowed to do as much as she wants to do, we're going to see a change in her.
And then, does the tunnel really exist? It exists.
It did exist.
What is it now?
So it used to be a hole, like a big hole and a tunnel.
Okay.
I think somewhere around like 200 feet underground. More, 500 feet, 200 meters underground. But now it's covered, and there is a big rock on top of it, which says the hole, which is Tsarichina's hole. It's interesting. I do kind of believe in myths and legends that something might have been there, but what exactly and what's been the motive of people going there, maybe searching for something that is way more material than, I don't know, something from the other world, more like a treasure or... Yeah.
And real quick, just tell us about the filmmakers. This is part of a trilogy that they did.
Yeah, so the filmmakers are Petr Volchanov and Kristina Grozova, and they've been here before with two of their films, Lesson and The Father. So they try to explore a series of newspaper articles. One of it is about a school teacher who just happens to rob a bank, like, sort of. Second one is a man who finds a lot of money. Lesson is not part of the trilogy. I made a mistake. So we have... we start with Glory, which is the second film that they've done, feature film, and it's about this man who finds a lot of money and decides that he's going to do something good and he's going to return the money, but he ends up having his watch stolen. The second one is about a father and a son, and it's a very beautiful story. Again, we have a lot of psychics. I guess a lot of us believe in them in this part of the world. And the third one is this story about Tsarichina's hole, which is something that we all Bulgarians know and kind of believed in it, kind of didn't believe in it, doubted it. But a lot of things from real life, and there are a lot of rich stories in real life that they explore. They're very talented. They're incredibly educated and well-known and well-read as well. And it's been an honor to have a chance to work with them.
Now, talking about The Apprentice, Ivana Trump, I got to see it in Cannes. Look, you have a lot of pride in playing her. She was a self-made woman, even well before Trump arrived in her life. But what were the challenges with playing the role?
Thank you so much for talking about her. I think it's important because we know the name, we know the face, but we don't really know a lot about her story and how she became who she became. It's interesting. The more I got to know about her, the more inspired I became by her, because you see that this person has been so outspoken, so much ahead of her time, back in the 70s, back in the 80s, when women have been even more subjugated and not allowed to express their opinions, express their voices. And she's been the opposite, which is remarkable. She's been the brain behind everything that has happened back then. It's been challenging because I did want to play her with respect and dignity, because I liked her. She's been a model to a lot of people, not only a fashion model, not only a fashion queen, but just a queen with her behavior, because even though she's been through a lot of things, whether in this marriage or before the marriage or after the marriage, she still remained her true self. And they say she's been like her hair, unflappable. You cannot knock her down.
The reaction to the film, how do you think it's been?
Well, I think people will go with an idea of the film that is going to change tremendously when they watch it, because the movie explores not just these characters, but the American system and the desire of power. What are you capable to do in order to have power and domination? And I think that's just like a dive into the underbelly of the American system in general. And this American dream, what is it actually? What do you have to do? What does it cost you to achieve it?
Do you think it's a fair portrayal of Donald Trump?
Well, it's not a documentary. We're never trying to do a documentary. It's a fictionalized story inspired by real people. We are portraying real people, but we have a director who has a very clear vision of what he wants to do with this film and how he wants all of us to feel something in this movie. And I think that's the most important part. Whether you like it, whether you hate it, as long as it makes you feel something, that's the most important part.
What's next?
Next, I'm currently shooting something in Ireland, Galway, with an incredible director called Rebecca Fortune. She's done a movie called Just Charlie, which is beautiful and heartbreaking, and it's moving. We're working on a story called Learning to Breathe Underwater, and it's Rory Kinnear, a little 7-year-old boy, and me, and it's a beautiful, intimate story.
Maria Bakalova, star of The Apprentice and star and producer of Bulgaria's Oscar submission, The Triumph.
Thank you.